There's a new warning this morning that e-cigarettes may not be as safe as they seem. The New England Journal of Medicine says e-cigarette users are 5 to 15 times more likely to get formaldehyde-related cancers than long-term smokers. Formaldehyde is the toxic chemical found in the devices. Dr. Holly Phillips is with us. Dr. Holly, good morning.
Good morning, Laura.
Formaldehyde, we think about, lab in high school when we were dissecting frogs. That's in e-cigarettes? How dangerous is it?
Formaldehyde is a really common chemical. It's not only in frogs in biology labs, it's in permanent pressed fabrics, it's in glues, and most importantly, it's in regular cigarettes. When you smoke a regular cigarette, you inhale this formaldehyde, which we know can cause cancer. In the study, researchers took a high-powered form of an e-cigarette. It's called a tank system, and they basically created a vapor in a lab and studied it. They found that when you heated the vapor up at a low voltage, 3.3 volts, there was very little formaldehyde in it, in fact, none. But when you heated the vapor up at 5 volts, there was a lot of formaldehyde. In fact, 2.5 times the amount of formaldehyde that you would get if you smoked a regular cigarette.
Well, the American Vaping Association, no surprise, is not happy. They say this study's flawed. How come?
Not only the Vaping Association, but a number of critics have come out against this paper that was published in the New England Journal. Basically, they're saying what happens in the lab doesn't necessarily happen in real life. And even though they heated up the vapor to a very high voltage in the lab, real life e-cigarette users wouldn't do that. The vapor would taste terrible. It would basically overheat their device, and they would not enjoy the smoking. So they would usually smoke at a lower voltage, which has less formaldehyde.
Right, so they're saying you'd have to crank up the e-cigarette in some way that most e-cigarettes you can't even do it with to achieve these levels.
Exactly, yeah. They used a specific high-power e-cigarette called a tank system, and so most people wouldn't be exposed in that way.
When are we really going to know?
Yeah,
when are we really going to know if they're safer?
Right, theoretically, they should be safer. We know that the main harm from cigarettes isn't the nicotine, even though that's an addictive substance. It's the 4,000 chemicals, 60 of which we know are carcinogens, that come from burning tobacco. E-cigarettes don't burn tobacco, so in theory they should be safer, but as we see today, the jury is still very much out on that.
Okay, thank you.
Holly Phillips, thanks very much.